got some new Celtics trade rumors. We'll talk about the Celtics first round draft pick and some big news for our guy, Derrick White. What's going on, Green Teamers? You're watching Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith. Could the C's trade for Nic Claxton? We'll talk about that at the top of today's show, and then we'll talk Hugo Gonzalez and D. White's media pursuits. Before we get into it, though, I wanted to let you guys know it is my birthday today. Turning 24. Yes, thank you guys if you wish me a happy birthday down in the comments section. But it is not only my birthday here in the Chat Sports offices. Yeah, I'm pretty pissed that I got to share it. But I'm really pissed that I got to share it with the host of 76ers Now, that scumbag Jake Chipper, who's got more subs than us in the month of July. So my one birthday wish to you guys is if you go down below and hit that subscribe button for free Celtics content every single day, and so we can beat 76ers Now in the month of July, and I can talk a little bit of smack to my birthday partner. Alrighty, let's talk about it. Trade for Nic Claxton. This isn't anything that has been widely reported by multiple NBA insiders or ESPN's dropping a story on it, but a Brooklyn Nets reporter did list the Celtics first on a list of potential realistic Claxton destinations. Jed Katz of Sports Illustrated saying the following: even though things have been quiet on the trade market, the Nets could dump the remaining $69.4 million from Claxton's contract for future assets, something that they have been rumored to do for some time. So Claxton is a guy who's got 3 years left in the deal, and the Brooklyn Nets aren't really in a incredibly competitive situation at this point, even in a weak Eastern Conference. And we know from Boston's point of view side of things, like, they need to address this front court. It is absolutely atrocious. You lose Kristaps Porzingis, you lose Luke Cornett, and obviously, presumably, you lose Al Horford, who's more likely than not going to the Golden State Warriors in free agency. And now it's an absolute disaster that you're looking at on your screen right now. Georges Niang, Luka Garza, Neemias Queta, Xavier Tillman, and Amari Williams. I mean, there isn't a whole heck of a lot of NBA experience, especially at the center position in this five group of guys here. Amari Williams barely got any run in summer league. Xavier Tillman, 6'7". Georges Niang can't defend a tree, and Luka Garza and Neemias Queta have played like less than 500 minutes in their NBA careers. So there is not a lot to really be inspired by here. Nic Claxton, on the other hand, is, when you talk about an around-the-rim big, like, this is one of the best in the NBA. Like a true rim protector, rim-running lob threat who can rebound the heck out of the basketball and has been relatively healthy over the past couple of years, man. Like, each of the past 3 seasons, he's playing 70-plus games. He led the league in field goal percentage, I believe it was, back in 2023. So this is a really, really efficient player who also, as you see his field goal percentage drop, that is not really a cause for concern as he's expanding his range a little bit, starting to take a couple of mid-range, working the in-between, and even take some threes out there as well. So he's still a very, very efficient around-the-rim player, but he's trying to evolve his game. 26 years old, fits the Jays timeline as well. But speaking of this, like, I like Claxton as a player, but I don't know how easy it's going to be to welcome him with open arms. I mean, remember when the C's were putting that can of whoop ass over on the Brooklyn Nets a couple years ago? 4-0 sweep. Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Some of the best games I've ever watched in my life. Some of the best basketball JT's ever played. And he was getting into it with Nic Claxton way back when he was just cooking. Oh, my God, when he got put in the high pick and roll and clear out, Claxton's on me. We're taking him right to the rack. That was easy money when Durant was defending him. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm looking back on the good times. But to be honest with you, like, who knows if Claxton is very well liked by Jason Tatum. Like, that's definitely something you have to run by your superstar here. I don't know if it's the biggest concern overall, but it's definitely something of note as they got into it when they were matching up back in the day. Now, there have been no, like I said at the top of today's show, there's been no actual, like, substantial Shams Charania, Mark signed, seal delivered reports of the Nets shopping Claxton at this point. But he has been a name who's long been in trade rumors. He's still got a bunch of years left in the contract, and I don't know how long he wants to be a part of this Nets rebuild. I know he just did sign that extension a couple of years, really a season or two ago, so who knows. But the Lakers have been interested. A lot of contending teams who need bigs who have called up the Nets about Claxton. So I don't think that they're completely shutting the door on trading him, especially when he has a bunch of money left on his deal. And with for the flip side of the Celtics, like, I know this is a very unlikely scenario, but it's July 30th, and we got to talk about how the Celtics can improve this roster, or else we'll just be talking tank until the season begins. Like, the according to multiple reports, seem like they're starting the season with the roster as currently constructed, like with Simons, Niang, and the free agent additions that they brought in. Like, it seems like the crew that they've brought in is at least going to see the light of day in Celtic green. But how long are they actually going to survive on this roster? Like, they're probably going to try to get these guys' trade values up and then go out there and capitalize and shed some money and bring in some other pieces that can help this team down the line, i.e. Claxton. Now, as far as who could be dealt on this Celtics roster, it's really only two players from my point of view. Like Sam Hauser, we had heard was in Celtics trade rumors at the start of this, free agency cycle, but nothing ever really progressed past, they could get off of his money because he costs so much against the luxury tax. Like, that was really only the only reason that his name was ever floated around, and it was never floated around by any real Celtics reporters. So it's really just the guys that they went out there and traded for, Anthony Simons and George Niang. And the guy that's going to get the deal done, in essence, is the $27 million that are on Anthony Simons' expiring contract. So this would be the guy going away to Brooklyn in a deal. And another reason that I honestly think this is unlikely is because the Nets got their own thing going on with Cam Thomas, another small scoring point guard. Now, obviously, Simons is 10 times the athlete that Cam Thomas is, but you get the same idea. How keen do they want to be on bringing this guy in when they also just drafted 3 point guards in the first round of the NBA draft? But I would love to trade for Claxton, man. This is a cost-efficient player whose contract is depreciating as the years go on. I mean, $25 million this upcoming season. Yeah, that would suck, but you're still shaving a couple million off with that Simons 27. Then you get to 26, 27. JT's back. He's making $23 million a year. That's less than Derrick White. He'd be like the 4th highest paid player on the roster. That sounds good to me. 27, 28, the guy's making $21 million. Like, that is an absolute bargain for the production that you're getting from Nic Claxton. Look, at the end of the day, it's pretty unlikely, but it's absolutely a name that I hope that the Celtics are monitoring if they want to improve this roster late in this season. With that being said, what do you guys think? Should the Celtics trade for Nic Claxton from the Brooklyn Nets? Based on everything I've just showed you, contract, stats, his fit on the roster potentially with some potential beef with JT. What do you guys think? Yes or no? You let me know down in the comment section. All right, now let's talk about somebody who I know will be playing on the Boston Celtics this year, but how much will he be playing in Celtic green, or Boston Celtic green, I should say? Is Hugo Gonzalez mainly going to be running with the main Celtics this upcoming season after a pretty rough summer league overall? Like, I'll just let John Hollinger, The Athletic, talk about how he was a disappointment on his list over at The Athletic from Summer League. He said the questions about his skill level didn't exactly vanish with his play in Vegas. Gonzalez repeatedly lost his handle, including one notable turnover from when he took a single dribble from a standstill and simultaneously had the ball picked and committed a clear path foul. He finished Summer League with as many turnovers, 13, as baskets, and in addition to shaky perimeter shooting, only shot 6 of 20 inside the arc. So the touch wasn't there. He may have been a little bit nervous. Hugo Gonzalez did not have a very pretty or efficient Summer League. And, like, this isn't the most unexpected thing in the whole wide world. Like, what was the first thing that Hollinger had said there? He said that there were question marks surrounding his true skill level at the game of basketball. What we drafted Hugo Gonzalez for is the effort level he's going to bring and the IQ in between the ears. Does he have all of the polish coming in? No. That's why he ended up falling up to the end of the first round after a year earlier being projected in some people's top of the lottery. So, like, this guy is an unpolished game, and it's going to take time to develop. And maybe the G League is a spot where that's going to be most advantageous for him if he really can't carve out a consistent role in the Celtics offense early on. Jonathan Wasserman of Bleacher Report speculated the same. He said the Boston Celtics will want Hugo Gonzalez to get reps in the G League after he played sparingly all year for the Real Madrid. At this stage, he doesn't have one bona fide or bankable skill or strength that the Celtics will value for the 2025-26 rotation. He's intriguing long-term for his athleticism, motor, defense, and shot-making potential. He's got a good form, not really great numbers. But he said unless Boston really falls off during the gap year with JT out and Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday gone, Gonzalez figures to spend most of the year building back some confidence with the main Celtics. And that's undoubtedly the case. Like, he will be getting more run with Maine. I'm sure he'll play something like 25 to 30 minutes a night over there compared to, is he ever going to see 10 minutes a night for 40-plus games with the Celtics regular season, like the Celtics regular rotation? I highly, highly doubt it. So go get yourself a real carved-out role, work on what you need to work on, work with the Celtics G League coaches on your shot mechanics and all those things that are necessary in today's real NBA, and then you come back at 26, 27 is like, oh my God, where did this guy come from? Where was he all last year? Yeah, he was going out and doing his work and working in silence so he could be a viable rotation player for the Celtics' future. And this is not an entirely uncommon thing either. 18 out of the 30 first-rounders picked last year played in the G League, and some of them played a whole heck of a lot. Like, Kel'el Ware played close to 10 games, and he was one of the best rookies in the NBA. You had Reed Shepard, who was picked 3rd overall. I think he played 80% of his season with the G Leaguers over in Houston. So, like, this is not uncommon. And for a guy who we want to see develop, and this is a long-term project, something that we knew when he picked him, like, this is probably the best course of action for him to be playing with the Maine Celtics most of next season. With that being said, it was a rough summer for him. Like, he did not really play well in, the Celtics fans' first impressions. So, at this point, you still believe in Hugo Gonzalez. Yes or no? You let me know down in the comments section down below. All right, before we get into our last story on today's show, get yourself hooked up with this awesome deal with our friends over at Fanatics at this link right here, chatsports.com/champ sale. We want to reminisce on the good times when the confetti was falling down from the TD Garden just last year, and it's got a pretty good, cool artwork on it. Got all the caricatures of the guys. So get yours today, and it's on a 6 sale, like literally over 60% off. So take advantage of it. Sizes are running out. Chatsports.com/champ sale. Don't worry, you don't have to type it in. I put that link in the comment section and description of today's video to make it easy for you guys. Go get yourself a 2024 Champs shirt for the Lolo today. All right, last order of news today. It's nothing crazy. No injury, no trade rumor for Derrick White. Now, he's launching his own podcast with his best friend Alex Welsh, his roommate, over when he was at the University of Colorado Springs, the D2 stop before he went to CU Boulder and then made it all the way to the NBA. And look, when I heard this news, I was like, okay, like I like what Derrick White has to say. When he was on the Old Man and the 3 podcast with JJ Redick a couple of times, like I listened to those episodes and they were great. He's got a lot of great basketball insight. But, there's a stigma around podcasters in the NBA, and here's the description of it. He's got the channel over on YouTube if you guys want to go check that out. I'm sure it's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify as well. The first episode released on Monday, and you guys can read the description there. He'll be talking ball, he'll be talking life, he'll be telling stories, and doing all that good stuff. Just wants to be able to chop it. He said he was having a lot of fun whenever he would go on these podcasts throughout these years, and he wanted to start his own, and his best friend wanted to do it a whole heck of a lot too. So good luck to them, and I'll be listening to a lot of episodes as I want to find out more about D. White. But hopefully this doesn't end up like Podcast P situation where he's getting memed to death because he falls off a cliff or gets hurt next season and they blame it on the podcast. Like, I just don't want that to happen. But I think Derrick White is one of the more responsible and level-headed players in this league to where we don't have to worry about that kind of thing too much, at least. With that being said, what do you guys think? Are you guys going to listen to Derrick White's podcast? Let me know down in the comments section. Have you listened to it already? Did you think it was a good episode? I heard a couple clips where they were talking about San Antonio trading him to Boston. Greg Popovich called him up, and he was like, hey, we traded you. And then D. White goes, oh, to where? And then Greg Popovich goes, don't worry, we didn't F you. We sent you to Boston. So if you've made it that long in today's video, there's a little spoiler for you. And I thought that was awesome that the Pop did the right thing and made him a champion. With that being said, make sure you are subscribed. That will do it for today's edition of Celtics Today by Chat Sports. We will keep you guys updated for all the latest Celtics news and rumors that are going on in the dog days of the offseason. Looks like the C's roster, as it stands right now, is going to be the one that we open the season with, but we will keep you guys updated with everything that we hear the rest of the summer. So lock us in, hit that sub button. We'll see you in the next one, and as always, let's go C's.